Hello and welcome to المحاضرة السادسة في المادة بتاعتنا 312. محاضرة النهاردة برضو هنتعامل مع situations بنتعرض ليها في حياتنا. المواقف دي بتتطلب منا أساليب معينة لازم ان احنا نوظف فيها الكلمات اللي احنا معنيين بيها في السيتويشن دي. بمعنى ان في عندي دلوقتي موقف انا عايزة أعزم أصحابي على حاجة. لما أجي أعرض عليهم هذا الموضوع أنا ما بقترحوش وما بطلبش منهم حاجة، بالعكس أنا عايزة أبين لهم إن في نوع من الدعوة بوجهها لهم. في موقف آخر لو أنا فعلا عايزة أعرف اقتراح معين ممكن أعمله في موقف قابلني، فبروح لصديقة وأقول لها تشوري عليا بإيه؟ What would you suggest؟ تقترحي عليا إيه؟ طبعا ممكن إن أنا أطلب الاقتراح في مواقف زي دي، وممكن إن أنا ألاقي نفسي بقترح على مجموعة حيرانة مش عارفة هتعمل إيه، أقوم مدياهم فكرة بحيث إن هم يقدروا يوصلوا لنتيجة بالنسبة للحيرة بتاعتهم دي. فموقف ممكن إن أنا to invite people، موقف آخر ممكن إن أنا to ask for a suggestion أو إن أنا نفسي to suggest اللي هو الاقتراح. وهناك موقف ثالث اللي هو دائما الإنسان ما بيستغناش عن إنه يسأل الآخرين على أشياء كثيرة جدا. ممكن إنه هو يسألهم على شيء مفقود ومش لاقيه وبيبتدي يقول لهم ما شفتوش الحاجة دي، وده بيبقى طلب عادي جدا، في نوع من الاستعلام، في نوع من الاستفهام. ممكن ان انا اطلب من حد ان هو يقوم بعمل شيء ليا، يعني بيبقى نوع من الرجاء، وفي الحالة دي ما بنقولش عليه it's a question، بنقول عليه ان هو request. يبقى كلمة when you ask someone to do something هنا هو ممكن انها تبقى اما command امر او اما انها تكون ريكوست، يعني برضو حتة سؤال شخص ما ان هو يقوم باداء شيء ليا عندي على حسب الموقف. ممكن الام لما توجه الحديث ده لابن من ولادها الصغيرين يبقى هي في سلطة عندها تجعلها انها تكوماندم، او رئيس وتحت ايده ناس بتعمل فبرضو هنا هو he can command them. ولكن حتى الكوماند نفسه ما ينفعش ان هو يبقى فيه نوع من الفظاظة، في اسلوب كده لطيف. ممكن ان انا لما اجي اتكلم نبرة صوتي ما تبينش ده، طبعا الالفاظ مش هتبينها، لاني لما اجي اقول لحد sit down او clean your room الكلمات مش هتفرق ما بين الأسلوب الطيب والأسلوب الفظ، ولكن the way you say things هو اللي بيجعل هناك فرق. في فرق ان انا اكشر وابتدي اقول do your homework، shut up، sit down، ده طريقة غير ان انا اقول له sit down بوش طبيعي جدا بدون نبرة النهر اللي بتبقى موجودة. النهاردة موضوع المحاضرة شيق جدا، لأن لازم نسمع ولازم نشوف ناس ازاي انها لما بتتحط في الثلاث مواقف اللي هم عنوان محاضرتنا النهاردة invitation، request and suggestion، بتتعامل ازاي الناس لما بتتحط في المواقف دي. دلوقتي هنشوف مع بعض أول جزئية في المحاضرة اللي هي الانفيتيشنز. طبعا عشان أدعو ناس يجب ان انا برضو اتوقع الردود الممكنة. ممكن حد يقبل الدعوة وممكن حد يعتذر بذوق شديد جدا لان عنده اشياء اخرى هيعملها، وممكن ان هو يرفض الدعوة لان مش هيقدر بدون ابداء اسباب. فحتة الرد ممكن انه يبقى بوزيتيف وممكن انه يبقى نيجاتيف، ولكن اساليب الدعوة ممكن تختلف باكسبريشنز كتير. هنسمع دلوقتي ديالوج مع بعض، نشوف في ناس بتدعو لشيء ونشوف الأسلوب، وعايزاكم تراقبوا بعد إذنكم الانتونيشن ونبرة الصوت the tone by which in which people talk. Let's listen and come back.
Page 23, Exercise 8. Conversation. Invitations. Listen and practice.
I have tickets to the Phantom of the Opera on Friday night. Would you like to go?
Thanks. I'd love to. What time is the show?
It's at 8.
That sounds great. So do you want to have dinner at 6?
I'd like to, but I have to work late.
Oh, that's okay. Let's just meet at the theater before the show, around 7:30.
That sounds fine.
زي ما حضراتكم سمعتوا في عندي a very common expression when I want to invite someone. Would you like to go out this evening? Would you like? Would you like فيها نوع من الأدب الشديد ولكن هناك offer عرض للخروجة. Would you like to go out this evening? ممكن حد يجاوب ويقول yeah great، حد يقول yeah lovely، وحد يقول I'd love to. ده طبعا في حالة الموافقة بعبر عن سعادتي اتجاه الانفيتيشن دي، ولكن هناك من سيعتذر ويقول I'm sorry I can't. هنا بقى تفسير السبب اللي بيرفض عشانه مش ضروري، ولكن هو هنا مؤدب جدا I'm sorry I can't. تمام؟ في موقف آخر we are going to a restaurant and we were wondering if you would like to come with us. We were wondering if you would like to. برضو أسلوب تاني في دعوة، احنا كنا بنتساءل هل تحب تيجي؟ ممكن تيجي؟ لو ممكن تيجي. We were wondering هنا معناها ان احنا نفسنا، اوكي؟ ولكن بنقول يا ريت. فأسلوب آخر للدعوة I'm wondering if you can come with me. تمام؟ الرد برضو هيبقى إما بالترحاب والموافقة I'd love to، أو ممكن إن أنا أجاوب بطريقة تانية أبدي فكرة لطيفة، يعني إحساس طيب اتجاه إن أنتوا اهتميتوا، ولكن بأذيل هذا التعبير باعتذار I'd love to but على طول بتنبه اللي قدامي ان انا بصدد الاعتذار I'd love to but I'm afraid I can't، او ان انا ابتدي على طول بالرفض Oh I'm afraid I have to finish my homework. طبعا afraid هنا ملهاش علاقة خالص بالخوف، هي ليها علاقة بالأسف I'm sorry. يعني دلوقتي برضو هنسمع لديالوج ما بين 3 people. ال 3 people دول they are inviting friends ان هم يحضروا معاهم مناسبات او يمارسوا معاهم نشاطات. هنشوف فعلا طرق مختلفة الناس ممكن انها تدعو بعض بيها، و watch the replies اذا سمحتوا تخلوا بالكم من الردود اللي هيجاب بيها على هذه الدعوات. Let's listen and be back.
Page 24, Exercise 10. Listening. Listen to 3 people inviting friends to events and activities. Complete the chart. Do the friends accept the invitations? 1.
Hey, Paula, would you like to see a movie on Wednesday?
Maybe. What time?
How about the 9 o'clock show? I'm not free before then.
9 o'clock? Oh, sorry, Jake. That's too late for me. I have to get up early on weekdays.
2.
Chris, there's a very good jazz pianist playing downtown. Would you like to go?
A jazz pianist. I'd love to go. When is the show?
It's on Thursday at 8:30.
Thursday at 8:30. That's perfect. Thanks a lot, Lucy.
3.
Hey, Ed, do you want to play baseball on Saturday?
Yeah, that'd be great, Rich. What time on Saturday?
How about 2 p.m.?
2 is fine.
دلوقتي احنا بنتعامل مع الجزئية التانية من محاضرة النهاردة. بعد الانفيتيشنز في عندي الريكويستس، وزي ما قلت الريكويست هو الرجاء، يعني الطلب ولكن بأسلوب فيه نوع من التوسل، ولكن التوسل المقبول. It's a request لأنه polite asking for a favor to be done or for something to be done. تمام؟ وبرضه هنشوف معاها الريبلايز، الإجابات. يعني when you request something أنت بتنتظر رد، إما إن اللي أمامك بيقدر، وإما إن هو بيعتذر بشدة ويقول إنه مش هيقدر. تمام؟ قبل ما نبتدي نشوف النماذج اللي أمامنا، عايزة نشوف الديمو نفسه ونشوف بالظبط ايه الاكسبريشنز اللي ممكن نستخدمها لما اجي اقدم على introducing a request، ان انا اقدم طلب، لان ده بيعتمد طبعا على the person I'm talking to، على الشخص اللي انا هتحدث معه، على كمان حجم the size of the request. طبعا كلمة حجم هنا لا تعني انه كبير او صغير بشكل مادي، ولكن قد يكون الطلب فوق طاقة البني ادم ده فهيعتبره a big request، او قد يكون في المتاح فيعتبر ان هو it's a request، او يكون شيء بسيط جدا مش محتاج ان التاني يبقى قلقان انه ما يتعملش وهيبقى small request. مع بعض هنشوف الديمو وبعدين نرجع تاني.
Common mistakes in English, Lesson 3. Sometimes students make mistakes with usage, not form. That means they're saying everything correctly, but the structures aren't right for the situation. They're not appropriate. In this lesson, we're going to talk about making requests. And we're going to make sure that you choose the right requests for the given situation. Topic: requests. Objective: to make appropriate requests. Appropriate is an adjective. It means well chosen for a specific situation or suitable for a certain purpose. What is a request? When we make a request, we are asking others to perform an action. This is different from telling them. We can tell people to do something by using commands, instructions, and directions. These are different from requests. So isn't it better to be polite and always ask people to do something rather than tell them what to do? And aren't all requests polite? No. How you ask them and how you tell them can be polite or rude. You need to understand when commands, instructions, and directions are appropriate and when it's better to make a request. I'd like to demonstrate my point and show you that it's not always what you say, but how you say it that can be rude or polite. Let's start with a command. I'm going to say it two different ways. Listen to the difference. Go home. Go home. The first way could be said to a person who came to a party of mine uninvited. Now they're behaving badly and I want this person out of my house. I say, go home. The second way could be said to a coworker who's at the office very late, working long hours, and I'm worried about this person's health. I think they should go home and rest. So I say, go home. Hear the difference? Okay, now let's take a request. We'll use the question, will you please open the door? Listen to the two different ways. First way, will you please open the door? Second way, will you please open the door? The first way could be said to, let's say, a family member. Your brother, your sister is standing near the door. They see you with lots of bags, and they're just looking at you. Maybe they're being funny, maybe they're being lazy. Either way, it annoys you. So you say, will you please open the door? The second way, you could say to a stranger, you still have the heavy bags and you can't open the door easily. You need some help. You want to ask the stranger to assist you. You say, will you please open the door? Get the difference? Telling people to perform an action. Most often, we use the imperative to give commands, instructions, and directions. Let's recall what the imperative is. To form it, use the base verb. For example, go, stop, help me. Use do not plus the base verb to make a negative imperative. For example, do not drive fast. Don't lie. The imperative is appropriate for these purposes, giving commands. For example, in the Army you might hear, stand up straight, march, give me 50 push-ups. Giving instructions. For example, step to the right, bring your feet together. Step forward like this, now turn to the left. Don't watch your feet. Giving directions. For example, go straight for 2 miles. Turn at the traffic light. Make a left onto Elm Street. Don't park on the street. If you want to ask people to perform an action, you can soften the imperative with please. For example, please listen. Sing a song, please. Please don't leave. This turns commands into requests. Let's pause for an exercise. Comprehension check 1. Choose the correct answer. Example. Which is a command? Please leave. Stop. Put in 1 cup of sugar. Answer. B. Stop. Number 1. Which is a direction? A. Don't do that. B. Please calm down. C. Turn right on Beacon Street. Answer C. Number 2. Which is a request? A. Please speak more slowly. B. Come home right now. C. Keep your back straight when you dance. Answer A. Number 3. Which is an instruction? A. Don't follow me. B. Insert the CD here. C. Please explain this to me. Answer B. That's the end of part 1. Be sure to check out parts 2 and 3.
زي ما شفنا وسمعنا طرق كتيرة جدا ممكن ان احنا نعمل الريكوستس فيها، بس اللي كان مهم جدا في الديمو ده انه بيعتمد على الكومن ميستيكس اللي معظمنا بيقع فيها، فهو عمل فوكس على الكومن ميستيكس، شرحها بشكل جامد وكبير وواضح، وزي ما حضراتكم شفتوا يمكن معظم الميستيكس بتبقى كمان في الأداء. The way I ask people to do something for me. اتقسمت الريكوستس زي ما عملت معاكم من البداية للكوماند وللطلب العادي اللي هو كفيفر. معلش اعذروني، احنا هنسمع ونشوف كم كبير النهاردة لان التفعيل لمواقف لايف افضل كتير جدا من الحديث نفسه. لما بسمع الشيء ببقى متعرفة اكتر على ال correct ways of talk, the correct ways of expressing ال requests دي، زي ما سبق ان احنا سمعنا وشوفنا ال correct ways of expressing ال invitation. هنسمع دلوقتي موقف وبعده على طول هنشاهد another demo هيوجهني للأخطاء الشائعة برضو علشان يبقى مفيش أي مشكلة بعد كده ممكن أقع فيها لو اتحطيت في موقف إن أنا either to ask for a request or to make a request. Let's listen and watch.
Unit 13. May I take your order, please? Page 80, Exercise 2. Conversation. Going out for dinner. Part A. Listen and practice.
Say, do you want to go out to dinner tonight?
Sure.
Where would you like to go?
Well, what do you think of Indian food?
I love it, but I'm not really in the mood for it today.
Yeah, I'm not either, I guess. It's a bit spicy.
How do you like Japanese food?
Oh, I like it a lot.
I do too, and I know a nice Japanese restaurant near here. It's called Iroha.
Oh, I've always wanted to go there.
Terrific. Let's go.
Page 80, Exercise 2, Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. 1. What time do they decide to have dinner? Why? 2. Where do they decide to meet?
So, do you want to eat early or late?
Let's eat early. Then maybe we can go to a movie after dinner.
Good idea. Why don't we have dinner around 6 o'clock?
6 is good. And where do you want to meet?
Let's meet at the restaurant, okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
زي ما سمعنا وشفنا تعرفنا على الكومن ميستيكس اللي ممكن أي حد فينا يتعرض لها، ولكن هنلخص بشكل سريع زي ما كنا بنقول إن في عندي ريكويستس بنعتبرها بيج وفي ريكويستس بنعتبرها سمول، لكن العادي إن بيبقى دايما الريكويستس في المعقول وبتبقى نوعا ما small ones. Here are some of the most common small requests with suitable positive and negative replies. غالبا بيترد على الريكوست إما بpositive reply أو بنيجاتيف. Could you pass me the salt؟ إحنا قاعدين على مائدة بنتناول وجبة، والسولت والبيبر دائما من الأشياء المتواجدة على كل الموائد، فالسولت إلى حد ما بعيد عن متناول إيدي، فبطلب من اللي قاعد معايا إنه يديهوني يناولهولي، فكريكوست بقول له could you وأقول بعد كده الشيء اللي أنا عايزاه منه. could you pass me the salt؟ ممكن تديني السولت. الرد اللي بالإيجاب هيبقى طبعا yes sure. تمام؟ صعب قوي ان حد يقول له لا مش هناولهولك قوم هاته لنفسك، هتبقى يعني حاجة نادرة جدا لان الطلب it's very small زي ما حضراتكم شايفين. Could I possibly borrow your dictionary؟ احيانا الستودنتس واحد منهم بينسى الديكشنري بتاعه وبيطلب استعارة الديكشنري من زميل له. ممكن يقول له could I borrow your dictionary؟ ولكن لو عايز يبين له نوع من التوسل المقبول ما فيهوش الاستجداء بتاع الذل، يعني there is no humiliation in this. could I possibly borrow your dictionary؟ could I possibly هل من الممكن ان انا to borrow your dictionary؟ طبعا ممكن يبقى في عندي yes of course بكل تأكيد، او yes help yourself اتفضلوا. help yourself يعني خدوا مفيش مشكلة زي yes take it، او go ahead كلها فيها دعوة انك اتفضل، يعني yes of course yes help yourself go ahead كل ده مقبول. طيب هل لازم ان انا ابقى مستغني عن الديكشنري ويبقى متاح لزميلي اللي بيطلبه؟ لا، ممكن ان انا اكون محتاجه فاتأسف واقول له sorry I really need it now. sorry I need it now. انا محتاجه دلوقتي. موقف تاني. do you think you could possibly lend me 2 or 3 pounds؟ طبعا من المبلغ واضح ان هو this is a small request، لكن لو قلت 200 او 2000 ده هيبقى a big request. do you think you could possibly برضو الاكسبريشن بتاع تفتكر ممكن انك، بديله برضو فرصة ان هو يحس ان هو السيد، انه لو افتكر انه مش ممكن مفيش داعي. do you think you could possibly lend me؟ بصوا كام you do you think you could lend؟ stress عليك، يعني انت سيد الموقف. lend me تعيرني 2 or 3 pounds yes sure. او احيانا الناس ما بتقدرش طبعا تستغنى عن الاموال حتى لو كانت بسيطة اللي في جيبها لان ما معهاش غيرها. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid not. I wish I could. ده طبعا واحد مهذب جدا بيقول نفسي فعلا but I haven't got any، ما عنديش غيرهم، يعني اتمنى بس لو كان معايا زيادة، انا ما معيش غيرهم. I'm sorry but I haven't any money at all. واحد بقى بيعتذر وبيقول انا اصلا ما فيش في جيبي ولا مليم، يعني I wish I could but I haven't got any، برضو ما معهوش ولا مليم، ولكن ما بيقولش at all بتبين ان حتى الكوينز مش معاه. موقف آخر I was wondering if I could possibly leave work half an hour early today. secretary وبتستأذن من الباص بتاعها، هل ممكن ان انا اغادر العمل نص ساعة بدري شوية النهاردة؟ I was wondering if I could، هي بتتكلم عن نفسها، لكن ممكن الاستئذان يبقى بطريقة تانية اللي هي would you mind تمانع if I left work half an hour early today. فالباص ممكن يطلع إنسان kind ويقول لها yeah no problem، وممكن الباص يبقى برضو إنسان كريم ولكن عارف إن في ضغوط عمل ما ينفعش إنها تسيب العمل وتمشي. well I'd rather you didn't، أفضل إنك ما تمشيش بدري. I'd rather زي ما كنا واخدينها في أسلوب التفضيل، لأن هنا عندي بديل من اتنين المفروض يوافق عليه، إما إنها تغادر وإما إنها تفضل، فهنا بيقول لها I'd rather you didn't. تمام؟ ولطيف برضو لو قال لها السبب because we have a lot of work to be done, we have lots of things to be done, we have a meeting, someone important is coming to pay me a visit. يقدر يبرر لها، في حين برضو ارجع واقول ان الباص مش مضطر، ولكن simply لان الاكسبريشن اللي هو استخدمه I'd rather you didn't is very polite and showing preference. تمام؟ ده كان استعراض لبعض المواقف البسيطة قوي اللي ممكن يبقى فيها الريكوست ويبقى فيه عندي different kinds of replies. طيب احيانا الريكوستس دي بتتعمل واحنا we are ordering a meal، موجودين في ريستوران، انا ما بطلبش حاجة هتبقى فيفر بالنسبة للويتر انه يعملها لي، ده شيء هدفع ثمنه، ولكن ستيل برضو أسلوبي في طلب الشيء يجب أن يكون مهذب وفي صورة الريكوستس أو الإكسبريشنز بتاعت الريكوست اللي تعرضنا لها. هنسمع ديالوج بتدور أحداثه جوه ريستورانت and someone is ordering a meal. عايزة ناخد بالنا من الأسلوب اللي بيتعامل بيه الويتر والكاستمر اللي قاعد اللي بيطلب، وبعده على طول هنشوف the last demo concerning the common mistakes الشائعة في موضوع الاوردرينج او الريكوستس سواء كانت commands او favors. Okay, let's listen to the dialogue and watch the demo and be back.
Common mistakes in English, Lesson 3. Special requests. Asking for the time of day. The most common question is, what time is it? You can make it more polite by saying please. What time is it, please? We can also ask, could you tell me what time it is? Could you please tell me what time it is? Do you have the time? And before asking any of the above questions, it's best to say excuse me, such as, excuse me, do you have the time? Asking someone to dance. Now, some of these questions are more like an invitation rather than a request, but I find all the differences interesting, so let's take a look. The first one is very casual. You can ask, how about a dance? The next two are more common. Do you want to dance? Would you like to dance? And with do you want to dance, more naturally it sounds like, do you want to dance? A little more polite would be, would you care to dance? And a very polite request would be, may I have this dance, please? That's a very formal request. Since the focus right now is on special requests, let's take a moment and talk about the kind of requests we make at a restaurant, ordering food. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's very polite to use the imperative. Even at a fast food restaurant like McDonald's, I wouldn't say, give me a hamburger, give me a Coke. I think it's better to say, could I have, or I'll have. For example, could I have a cheeseburger, small fries, and a Coke? Or, I'll have a fish sandwich, large fries, and a vanilla shake, please. Okay? Now, if it's a nicer restaurant, you can still use could I have, I'll have. You could also say, I'd like the grilled tuna, please. You might also say, I'll try the grilled tuna, please. So in any kind of restaurant, I don't think it's appropriate to say, give me. Better to say, could I have, I'll try, or I'd like. Okay? Asking for permission. When you request someone's permission to do something, you are asking them to let you perform an action. We can use let me, and of course always add please. Examples: let me cook dinner for you. Let me drive home. Please let me explain. Let me finish, please. We can also ask, can I or could I? And of course make them more polite by adding please. For example, can I go now? Could I take this home? We could also ask, do you mind or would you mind if I? Another variation is, would you mind terribly if I? And to these questions, appropriate answers are, no, that's fine. No, that would be fine. No, not at all. Please do. By giving these answers, you're saying, no, I don't mind. It's not going to be a problem. Please go ahead and do what you want. Example: daughter, would you mind terribly if I didn't spend New Year's Eve at home this year? I'd like to go out with my friends. Mother, I suppose that would be fine. Another way to ask permission is, would it be all right if I? For example, would it be all right if I borrowed your red sweater? The question may I is a very polite way to ask for permission. Examples: may I be excused? May I please have some more? May I take this, please? Written requests. Informal requests are often made in notes. For example, call John. Meet me at the gym. Please make 10 copies of this. Formal requests are often used in business writing. Examples: I request that you take the time to review my case. We request all employees to give at least 1 month's notice before taking vacation time. Note the grammar here. With request that, we say request that plus you plus the base verb. I request that you take the time. I request that he take the time. I request that they take the time. Request that plus a person plus the base verb. In the second structure, it's request plus who plus the infinitive. We request all employees to do what? Request who to do what? Let's talk about general politeness in writing. Sometimes you need a level of formality that's neither too much nor too little. For example, when you write to me, you don't have to be overly polite, but please don't order me to do anything. For example, you could write, Jennifer, would you please teach a lesson on present perfect? Jennifer, I'd like to ask you to help me with the pronunciation of L. Jennifer, I'd appreciate it if you covered adjective clauses in a future lesson. I think you're ready now for our final exercise. Here's the final exercise. Listen to the question and choose the appropriate statement. Example: what would a father say to a son? B. Don't forget to turn off the light. Number 1. What would a girlfriend say to her boyfriend? B. Call me later, okay? 2. What would a mother say to a small child? A. Clean up the toys, please. 3. What would you say to your roommate? A. Could you help me open this, please? 4. What would a student say to a teacher? B. May I leave class a little early today? 5. What would a husband say to a wife? A. Can you help me take the trash out? 6. What would a brother say to a sister? A. Do you mind if I turn it up? 7. What would a teacher say to her students? B. Please open your books to page 10. 8. What would you say to your neighbor? B. Do you know what time it is? 9. What would you say to a friend? B. Please play a song for me. That's all for our lesson on requests. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel.
بنوصل دلوقتي للقسم الأخير في المحاضرة بتاعت النهاردة اللي ابتديناها بالانفيتيشنز وبعد كده تعاملنا مع الريكويستس، وزي ما حضراتكم شايفين احنا بنستعرض كل صغيرة وكبيرة خاصة بالموضوعات دي علشان ما يبقاش في مجال للخطأ فيها. القسم الأخير اللي هو suggestions الاقتراحات، بنشوف صور مختلفة للأساليب اللي بنستخدمها when we suggest something، وطبعا suggestion means giving an idea to help others، وبنشوف برضو الردود الممكنة. Here are some common ways of asking for and making suggestions. يعني ممكن ان احنا نطلب الاقتراح من الاخر علشان احنا حيرانين ومش عارفين، او ان احنا نفسنا نقدم الاقتراح متطوعين. الاقتراحات معناها ideas for things to do, say, make إلى آخره. هي بتبقى مجرد فكرة بطرحها واللي أمامي ممكن إنه يقبلها أو لا. وطبعا الريبلايز هتبقى على حسب فعلا الفكرة وتقبل الشخص ليها. القسم الأول هيبقى asking for suggestions. أنا ممكن أتحط في مواقف أطلب آراء الآخرين، وعلى فكرة ده أسلوب لطيف جدا لأن دائما الاستماع لآراء مختلفة ممكن أنه يكون مرشد جيد عشان في النهاية أعمل الأصوب والأفضل. أول صورة asking for a suggestion: What shall we do tonight؟ صورة بسيطة جدا، والمقترح المطلوب عن شيء بسيط. What shall we do tonight؟ يا ترى نعمل ايه النهاردة؟ أنا هنا I ask for a suggestion، أنا ما عنديش فكرة وبطلب الفكرة من الآخر. أو where shall we go this evening؟ What shall we do؟ أو where shall we go؟ What عايزة الأيديا، where اديني المكان. تمام؟ هنسمع ديالوج برضو علشان الأمر ده يبقى لايف، ونعود بعد الاستماع إلى الديالوج ونشوف how do we make احنا نفسنا suggestions، لان الديالوج اللي هنسمعه دلوقتي له علاقة ب asking for a suggestion. Let's listen and come back.
Page 83, Exercise 6. Conversation. Ordering a meal. Listen and practice.
May I take your order?
Yes. I'd like a hamburger and a large order of French fries, please.
All right. And would you like a salad?
Yes, I'll have a mixed green salad.
Okay. What kind of dressing would you like? We have vinaigrette, Italian, and French.
Italian, please.
And would you like anything to drink?
Yes, I'd like a large soda, please.
اقتراحات بسيطة جدا بنطلبها، يا رب حتى تبقى خاصة بترشح لي ايه اللي ممكن اكله دلوقتي. Now making suggestions. انا بقى مش هطلب من حد انه يقترح عليا، انا اللي هأبادر واقول اقتراح معين للاخر، قد يقبله وقد يرفضه. عندي either ان انا استخدم how about or what about، والاتنين سيان. How about or what about going to the cinema؟ لو جيت قلت how about going to the cinema صحيحة. What about going to the cinema صحيحة. يبقى how أو what about وأقول الشيء ما فيهاش مشكلة، ولكن مهم جدا إن أنا أعرف إن بعد about لازم يبقى في عندي صورة الجرند. ادي زي ما حضراتكم شايفين going آخرها ing. how أو what about plus ing. دي رول لا يمكن نخطئ فيها، لكن ممكن ان انا استخدم how او ان انا استخدم what، ولكن لزاما علينا كلنا ان احنا نحط بعد about ing form اللي هو الجرند. We could go to the leisure center and watch the basketball. We could go ده ممكن يبقى الرد على السجستشن. تمام؟ Why don't we try that new club in the main square? Why don't we try that new club in the main square? برضو أسلوب إن أنا بدي رأيي وبدي اقتراح إن أنا أقول ليه ما نعملش كذا. أما أقول ليه ما نعملش معناها إن أنا بحث الناس على إنها تعمل العكس، إن إحنا نعمل. Why don't we go to the cinema? We haven't been there for a long while. ليه ما نروحش السينما؟ بقالنا كتير ما شفناش أفلام. Why don't we try؟ ليه ما نجربش that new club in the main square؟ ليه ما نجربش النادي الجديد اللي موجود عندنا في الميدان؟ يبقى أنا عندي how about أو what about plus ing أو why don't we ونقول الانفينيتيف أو البيس بتاع الفيرب بتاعي في الصيغة دي. هنسمع برضو ديالوج تاني دلوقتي ونشوف how people respond على الريكويستس، ردود فعل الناس تجاه على السجستشنز، آراء الناس المختلفة وردودهم على الاقتراحات المقترحة. Let's listen and come back.
Common mistakes in English, Lesson 3. Let's talk more about how we ask people to perform an action. In addition to using imperatives, we can use questions. Some common questions for making requests are, can you or could you? Will you or would you? Note that could you and would you are more polite. So from less polite to more polite, here are some examples. Can you show me or will you show me? Can you show me please? Will you show me please? Could you show me or would you show me? Could you show me please? Would you show me please? So you see again that could and would are more polite, and please always makes any question more polite. Additional requests. Do you mind cooking dinner tonight? Would you mind mailing a letter for me? Would it be too much trouble to pick me up from work? Take a note of the grammar. Do you mind, would you mind, takes a verb in the ing. The last expression, would it be too much trouble, combines with the infinitive. Asking people not to do something. Sometimes it's best to use the imperative, especially if it's a matter of safety. This is called a warning. You are telling someone not to do something dangerous. For example, slow down, don't fall. But in other situations, it's more appropriate to ask a person not to do something. For example, would you please stop doing that? When you ask someone not to do something, you can imply your wishes instead of stating them directly. This is considered more tactful. Tactful means you're behaving in a way that doesn't upset others. So here are some examples of implied requests not to do something. I really wish you would stop calling me little girl. In other words, you're saying, don't call me little girl. I wish you wouldn't be so negative. In other words, don't be so negative. It might help if you did a little more around the house. In other words, I want you to help more around the house. You know, it wouldn't hurt to call more often. In other words, I want you to call more often. Sometimes the speaker uses we in a statement, but the meaning is really you. This is done to make a request less like a command and more like a suggestion or reminder. For example, a parent might say, let's not call each other names. Let's stop and try another exercise. Comprehension check 2. Read each statement and identify the situation. Sometimes more than one answer is possible. Example, please get back to work. Don't waste your time or mine. What's the situation? A, an employee speaking to a boss. B, a boss speaking to an employee. Or C, one employee speaking to another. Answer, B. These requests are too direct for an employee to use with a boss. And for one employee to use these requests with another is unnatural. One employee with another would more likely use suggestions, such as, let's get back to work. Number 1. I wish you'd stop doing that. What's the situation? A, a police officer speaking to a dangerous driver. B, a student speaking to a teacher who often forgets the student's name. C, a person speaking to a friend who often criticizes himself. Answer, C. A police officer speaking to a driver would not use an implied request. They would need to speak more directly and use a warning. Stop driving dangerously. Stop doing that. And in the case of the student, it would be best not even to make a request, but to simply give a reminder. The student can simply tell the teacher what his name is. Number 2. Let's wash our hands. We wash our hands before eating. What's the situation? A, a parent speaking to a child. B, a doctor speaking to a patient. C, a hostess speaking to a dinner guest. Answer, A. A doctor would not speak this way to a patient. Doctors give directions, instructions, and warnings. A hostess would also not speak in this manner. A hostess would most likely make an offer such as, would you care to wash up before dinner? Number 3. Would it be too much trouble to move the bed near the window? What's the situation? A, a young child speaking to her parent. B, a guest speaking to the hotel staff. C, a homeowner speaking to hired furniture movers. Answer, B. A child would not use such a request. It's a little too formal, too long. The child would simply ask, "Can we move the bed near the window?" C is also possible, but in this situation, there are likely many pieces of furniture, and to take the time to be polite, making requests for every single piece of furniture, is just too much. Number 4. Will you call me? But don't call after 9, okay? What's the situation? A. A girlfriend speaking to her boyfriend. B. A job seeker speaking to a job interviewer. C. A patient speaking to a receptionist at the doctor's office. Answer: A. A job seeker needs to remain formal and polite. The job seeker could ask, "Might I expect your call? May I expect your call? Will you be calling me?" The job seeker should also not be too demanding, so it would be best to say something such as, "Please call me at your convenience." A patient should also be polite when speaking to a receptionist. The patient could ask, "Will you please return my call?" To state a specific time, the patient could say, "Please call me any time before 9 o'clock." That's the end of Part 2. Be sure to check out Part 3.
Page 69, Exercise 8. Conversation. Giving suggestions. Part A. Listen and practice.
Can you tell me a little about Mexico City?
Sure I can. What would you like to know?
Well, what's a good time to visit?
I think you can go anytime. The weather is always nice.
Oh, good. And what should I see there?
Well, you should visit the National Museum and go to the Palace of Fine Arts.
What else?
Oh, you shouldn't miss the Pyramid of the Sun. It's very interesting.
It all sounds really exciting.
Page 69, Exercise 8, Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. 1. Where is David from? 2. What should you do there?
Where are you from again, David?
I'm from Miami, Florida.
Oh, I've always wanted to visit Miami. What's it like? What can you do there?
Well, there's a lot to do, but a visitor should definitely spend some time on the beach. The beaches there are beautiful.
responding هنراجع مع بعض ايه الردود اللي ممكن ان احنا to respond تجاه السجستشن. Yeah, great, fine, okay, that's a good idea. طبعا fine و okay neutral ولكن مفيش مشكلة. Yeah, if you like بتساوي if you want to go then I'm happy to go. ببديك عليا لو انت عايز نروح مفيش مشكلة. Yes, I don't mind يعني I have no preference ما عنديش أي حاجة بفضلها على التانية مفيش مشكلة. I think I'd rather وهقول الحاجة اللي أنا عايزاها I'd rather go out for a meal. هنا أنا ببين إن أنا بفضل يبقى I don't mind ما ببينش إن في عندي تفضيل لكن I think I'd rather ببين إني ببدي حاجة على حاجة. In this situation نخلي بالنا إن learners often say it is the same for me ولكن it is the same for me ما بتستخدمش in English. We say I don't mind. ده كان يعتبر من الأخطاء الشائعة اللي ناس كتيرة جدا بنحاول إن احنا نترجمها من العربية للإنجليزية. It is the same for me يعني سيان بالنسبة لي. لا مش مطلوب إن أنا أقول expression زي ده. المطلوب إن أنا أقول I don't mind. بكده نكون وصلنا لنهاية المحاضرة بتاعت النهاردة واستعرضنا فيها مواقف كتيرة جدا منها الحاجات اللي بنستخدمها في أماكن زي الريستورانتس ومنها اللي بنقولها لأصدقائنا ومنها اللي فعلا بنشعر بأننا موافقين عليها ومنها اللي غير موافقين. قسمنا المحاضرة لثلاث أقسام أساسية invitations وقلنا كل الاكسبريشنز اللي ممكن نستخدمها بأسلوب الرد الممكن. اتعاملنا مع الريكويستس وعرفنا ان في عندي a polite request وان impolite او unacceptable request. عرفنا ان برضو وفقا للسوبريوريتي بتاع الشخص اللي بيطلب الطلب. ممكن الريكوست يبقى نوع من الكوماند الامر، وممكن يبقى نوع من الريكوست العادي. عرفنا ان في برضو ريكوست بتعتبر big and small. والجانب الاخير اللي غطيناه في محاضرة النهاردة كان السجستشنز، سواء انا اللي بطلب اقتراح الاخر عشان يساعدني، او انا اللي ببادر واقترح علشان احسم حيرة اخرين. Okay? Hope that today's lecture was useful. Thank you very much. Until we meet again, best of luck.